What if I told you the so-called king of loyalty just pulled the most shocking 180 of his entire career? That's right, Papoose, the man who once wore his devotion like a crown, has allegedly dumped the undefeated champ Claressa Shields and is crawling back to the very woman he swore he was done with, Remy Ma. This isn't gossip. This isn't rumor. This is the kind of betrayal that rips through the culture like a lightning strike, leaving scorched earth in its wake. The internet is on fire. Screenshots are flying across timelines. Voice notes are being replayed like mixtapes. And for the first time in years, the face of Black love is looking less like a hero and more like a man caught between two women. Two legacies and two devastating choices. Insiders say it didn't happen quietly either. Claressa, humiliated and furious, allegedly cut him off in the coldest way possible publicly and without warning. Meanwhile, whispers claim Papoose has been sliding back into Remy's world, testing the waters with cryptic texts, mutual friends, and even sentimental late-night calls. And Remy, she hasn't said a word, but her cryptic posts, shady likes, and icy silence are louder than anything she could ever speak. This isn't just a love triangle. This is betrayal, revenge, and desperation, colliding in real time. And the receipts. They're uglier than anyone dared to imagine. Because if these whispers are true, Papoose just went from king of loyalty to the biggest villain of the year. The culture is still reeling after the shock heard round the internet. Papoose, the man who turned loyalty into his brand, has allegedly dumped Claressa Shields and is creeping back toward Remy Ma. Nobody thought it would happen like this. Nobody thought Claressa, the undefeated boxing champion who carried herself like no man could ever break her, would end up humiliated in front of millions. But insiders swear it's real. It's the same Papoose who was courtside at her matches, tying her boots and singing her praises, has been sliding back into Remy's orbit. The fallout. Nuclear dot. It all began with a post so subtle fans almost missed it. Late at night, Claressa dropped a cryptic Instagram story that read, "People come into your life for reasons you don't always see at first. The truth always comes out." No tags, no names. But within minutes, fans pieced it together. Screenshots of her and Papoose had started disappearing from her page. Videos of their smiling moments at press conferences. Gone. And then the whispers turned into shouts. Claressa and Papoose were done. But here's the twist before Claressa could reclaim her narrative. Receipts began surfacing. Screenshots allegedly showed Papoose texting a mutual friend about Remy. The words, "cold. I made a mistake. Claressa solid, but my heart never left Remy." Fans lost their minds. How could the same man who called Claressa the best thing that ever happened to him suddenly be begging for his ex-wife back? The betrayal wasn't just personal, it was public. And then came the audio. A muffled but unmistakable recording, leaked to a gossip blog. The voice, believed to be Papoose, confessed, "I thought Claressa was forever, but Remy, she the one who know my soul? I miss her." The clip spread like wildfire. Twitter timelines erupted with disbelief. TikTok. Detectives slowed the audio down to prove it was him, and Instagram feeds flooded with memes. One viral post showed Claressa knocking out an opponent with the caption, "This finna be Papoose when she'll catch him." Meanwhile, Remy Ma sat back in silence, letting her cryptic likes do the talking. Fans noticed she liked a post that read, "The trash always takes itself out." Coincidence? Or was she shading Papoose and Claressa's entire fling? Blogs immediately ran with it, plastering headlines like, "Remy subtly reacts to Papoose dumping Claressa." Whether she intended it or not, Remy had just poured gasoline on the fire. But the humiliation for Claressa didn't stop there. Insider close to her camp leaked that she found out not through a conversation, not even through a fight, but through social media. Apparently, she opened her phone, saw the blogs buzzing with Papoose's texts about Remy, had realized he'd betrayed her in front of the entire world. The undefeated champ, who had fought some of the toughest battles in the ring, was blindsided outside of it. And fans said her silence spoke louder than anything. No denials, no defenses, just that cryptic story about truth coming out. And what about Papoose? For years, he branded himself as hip-hop's most loyal husband. He stood by Remy during her prison sentence, raised her son as his own, and publicly called her his queen in every interview. He was the blueprint. But now, he looked like a man unraveling, caught between two legacies. The woman who defined his loyalty, and the woman who gave him a second shot at love. His reputation wasn't just dented, was demolished. The memes were ruthless. One viral TikTok showed side-by-side clips, Papoose defending Remy with passion during her incarceration. Then screenshots of him allegedly begging to come back. The caption, "From loyalty to liability." Twitter piled on with fans writing, "Papoose turned Claressa into a rebound." And Remy dodged a bullet twice. Others dragged him mercilessly. He's not the king of loyalty. He's the king of midlife crisis. But if you thought that was messy enough, buckle up. Because insiders claim there's more, much more, according to a source tied to Love and hip-hop production. Papoose had been reaching out to Remy behind Claressa's back for months. The alleged messages, heart-wrenching. "I never stopped loving you. We got history no one else understands." And perhaps the most damning, "Claressa, solid, but she ain't you." When those messages leaked, fans weren't just shocked, they were furious. Claressa had been nothing but supportive, standing by him when the world dragged their relationship as messy and home-wrecking. She even let him share her spotlight, bringing him ringside during major bouts. And now, he was allegedly throwing her away like an afterthought. One fan wrote, "Claressa deserves better than being the rebound for a man still in love with his wife." Another added, "Papoose broke the one rule: don't play with a woman who can actually knock you out." And Remy's silence, deadly. She didn't deny the rumors. She didn't confirm them. Instead, she leaned into the speculation, posting a black and white selfie with a caption, "Patience." Fans swore it was a signal that she was watching Papoose grovel and enjoying every second of it. The industry couldn't resist chiming in either. That Joe, usually quick to defend Remy, was spotted liking a comment that read, "She always wins." In the end, meanwhile, gossip vlogger Tasha K claimed to have exclusive DMs proving Papoose had been reaching out to Remy long before Claressa dumped him. The internet didn't sleep. Hashtags trended for hours. Hashtag PAPOOSE played himself. Hashtag Claressa versed, and the most brutal one, hashtag Remy wins again. But here's the part nobody saw coming. Rumors swirled that Claressa's ex-fiancé, the same man Papoose stole her from, had resurfaced, feeding gossip blogs receipts about the boxer's private life. Some claimed he'd been waiting in the wings for this exact moment, ready to swoop back in and reclaim his place. And if that's true, then Claressa might not just be walking away from Papoose. She might already be entertaining a reunion with the man she once left behind. The cliffhanger is undeniable. Claressa's silence, Remy's cryptic posts, Papoose's alleged late-night groveling, and an ex-fiancé lurking in the shadows. The story is no longer about who Papoose loves. It's about whether his choices just destroyed his legacy forever. Because in a world where loyalty was his crown jewel, Papoose now looks like the king of betrayal. And if Claressa decides to speak or swing back, the knockout blow could end more than just a relationship. It could end his reputation for good. The moment the breakup story hit the blogs, the internet went from whispering speculation to full-scale chaos. Screenshots, voice notes, memes, everything flooded the timeline like a dam had just broken. Claressa Shields, the undefeated queen of the boxing ring, suddenly painted as the victim of a man who had built his entire legacy on loyalty. And Papoose, the man who once stood tall as the poster child of faithfulness, was trending for all the wrong reasons. It started with the hashtags. Within hours, hashtag PAPOOSE dumped CLARESS and hashtag Remy wins again were trending worldwide. Fans divided themselves into warring camps, Team Claressa, Team Remy, and the few stubborn loyalists still clinging to hashtag Pap forever. TikTok became the battlefield, with creators splicing old clips of Papoose's romantic speeches about Remy Black love forever against his alleged texts about Claressa. She's solid, but my heart never left Rem. Yeah, Remy was too. Juicy for the internet to resist. But things escalated when a gossip blog dropped what they called the smoking gun. An alleged DM thread between Papoose and a mutual friend showed him openly regretting leaving Remy in the first place. The line that sent fans into meltdown. Claressa, good people, but Remy, my soul. That one sentence was reposted more than 50,000 times in a single night. Fans weren't just outraged, they were disgusted. One viral comment read, "Pap turned Claressa into a rebound. After all that loyalty talk, he finished. And just when the storm couldn't get louder, Claressa's camp clapped back." An insider leaked to Shade Room that Claressa had confronted Papoose directly before cutting ties. Allegedly, she discovered he'd been contacting Remy late at night, testing the waters with innocent conversations that quickly spiraled into emotional confessions. The insider claimed Claressa's exact words to him were, "I fight women in the ring, not in my home. If you still want Remy, go back, but don't you ever play me again." The internet erupted. Fans hailed Claressa as a queen for walking away with dignity instead of clinging to a man who was already halfway back to his ex-wife. One fan tweeted, "Claressa ain't lose. She dodged a bullet. Let Pap chase the past while she keeps winning belts." Another added, "He played chess with the wrong opponent. Sis is undefeated in and out the ring." Meanwhile, Remy Ma's silence became the loudest weapon of all. She didn't go on live, she didn't issue a statement. Instead, she liked a post that read, "The trash always takes itself out." Screenshots of that went viral instantly. Fans interpreted it as confirmation that she knew Papoose was crawling back. And she was enjoying watching him beg. But behind the silence, things were moving fast. Gossip insiders claimed that Papoose had been reaching out to mutual friends, asking them to put in a good word with Remy. One source said he even tried to show up at a Bronx studio where she was recording, only to be turned away by her team. The humiliation was complete. Once the symbol of black love, Papoose was now being painted as a desperate man begging for scraps of his past. And then came the ex. Out of nowhere, Claressa's former fiancé surfaced, feeding blogs with so-called exclusive tea. He claimed that when Papoose swooped in and stole Claressa away, he swore he'd be back. And now, with Papoose allegedly crawling back to Remy, the ex was back in the spotlight, armed with screenshots and old photos to prove that he never really went away. One particular leak stunned fans. A photo of Claressa and her ex, allegedly, taken just weeks before the breakup, showed them at a charity event together smiling, close, comfortable. The caption that circulated with it, "Full circle. Told y'all I'd be back." Whether it was real or staged didn't matter. Then, narrative had already shifted. Suddenly, Papoose wasn't just the villain who betrayed Claressa, he was the fool who lost her to the very man she once left for him. Twitter exploded with brutal commentary. "Pap, really out here losing to women at the same time?" One fan wrote. Another posted, "Remy don't want him. Claressa dumped him. And now the ex back." Bro, in the worst love triangle of all time. Memes compared him to characters in soap operas. Captions like, "From Mr. Loyalty to Mr. Lost It All." But the chaos didn't stop there. Blogs started receiving anonymous tips claiming there were recordings of Papoose, confessing his regrets to Remy. One gossip vlogger swore they'd heard a snippet where Papoose said, "I should never let you go. Claressa, ain't you? Nobody is." The authenticity of the clip was questionable, but the internet didn't care. It spread like wildfire, with fans looping it over videos of Remy smirking in old interviews. And through all of this, Remy kept playing the game like a master strategist. She posted a glamorous selfie, captioned simply, "Timing." That one. Words sent fans into a frenzy. Was she hinting that she was considering giving Papoose another chance? Or was she enjoying watching him suffer in public? The ambiguity was deadly, and it kept her at the center of the storm without ever saying a word. Claressa, on the other hand, took a different route. Instead of firing back at Papoose, she doubled down on her career. She posted videos from training. Camp captioned, "Focus. No distractions." Fans rallied behind her, calling her the real winner of the saga. Pap thought he broke her. One fan wrote, but he only made her stronger. Others begged her not to even think about entertaining him again, flooding her comments with, "Stay undefeated, queen." The industry was eating it up too. Joe Budden dropped a shady remark on his podcast. Pap went from king of loyalty to king of losses. Can't crown yourself when you juggling regrets. 50 Cent couldn't resist chiming in either, posting a meme of Papoose with the caption, "He said Remy my soul, Claressa my rebound." Low L should have stayed quiet, champ. The pylon was relentless. But the cliffhanger came when a mysterious, anonymous account dropped what they claimed was the ultimate receipt, an email chain between Papoose and Remy's team, K, allegedly from weeks ago, discussing a possible meetup. To talk things out. If true, that meant Papoose was already plotting his return to Remy long before Claressa dumped him. The email ended with one chilling line. "He says he'll do whatever it takes." The internet froze. Was Papoose, really, trying to sneak back into Remy's life while still publicly dating Claressa? If so, then everything the romance, the loyalty. The boxing support was nothing more than a cover for a man already planning his comeback to his ex-wife. The cliffhanger was brutal. Claressa's ex back in the picture. Papoose allegedly begging. For Remy dropping cryptic captions and an email suggesting this wasn't sudden at all, but a plan in motion for weeks. Fans were left with one burning question. Who, if anyone, would end up with Papoose? Or was he about to lose both? Women for good. Because if the leaks are true, the king of loyalty may have just written his own downfall, and the next bombshell could destroy what's left of his image forever. By the time the dust from the leaked email settled, the culture had already turned against Papoose. The man once hailed as the symbol of unshakable love was now seen as the architect of his own downfall. The hashtags told the story. Hashtag Pap, the player. Hashtag CLARESSA deserves better. And hashtag Remy watching trended simultaneously. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it was the dismantling of a brand. The industry's reaction was swift and merciless. Charlemagne thought God dragged Papoose on the Breakfast Club, saying bro went from standing by Remy through prison walls to running from Claressa's right hook. Ain't no loyalty in that. Even Nicki Minaj threw subtle shade on Twitter, posting, "The grass ain't always greener. Sometimes it's just fake turf." Fans swore it was about Papoose. Meanwhile, Claressa Shields, humiliated but undefeated, decided she wasn't going to sit back quietly. Instead of messy rants, she chose precision. At a press conference ahead of her upcoming fight, she walked in wearing a custom robe embroidered with one word across the back, undefeated. When asked about the drama, she smirked and said, "In the ring and in life, I don't take losses. Some people take themselves out. That's all I'll say." The clip went viral instantly. Fans hailed it as the coldest clapback of the year. But behind the scenes, sources say Papoose was unraveling. He allegedly showed up at a Bronx lounge where Remy was spotted, only to be ignored completely. He tried again, sending her a bouquet of roses with a note, "Forever my queen." According to insiders, she returned them opened. That rejection alone turned him from desperate to reckless. That's when the biggest bomb dropped yet. A leaked phone call. An audio recording allegedly between Papoose and a close friend captured him venting. "Remy, the love of my life. Claressa was just a phase. I messed up, bro. I want my family back." The internet went nuclear. Claressa's fans were furious at being dismissed as a phase, while Remy stans debated whether this was true devotion or pathetic backtracking. And then came the twist that nobody saw coming. Remy finally broke her silence. Not with words, not with a statement, but with an Instagram live. She sat in her living room, calm, collected, sipping wine. "Everybody keep asking me about Pap. Let me tell you this. Respect is everything. Once you lose that, I don't care. How many flowers you send, I don't care what you say, you don't get that back. I'm focused on me, my career, my peace. That's it." She didn't say his name, but she didn't have to. The comments section exploded. Cardi B chimed in with fire emojis. Fat Joe dropped a simple facts. Fans spammed. She's done. With him, Queen Remy wins again. The verdict was clear. Remy wasn't playing into Papoose's narrative, but Papoose, instead of retreating, doubled down. In a late-night live that now circulates as one of the most chaotic clips of his career, he ranted, "Y'all painting me like a villain? I gave my all to both of them. Yeah, I want Remy back, so what? That's my wife. That's my family. It's Claressa strong. She bounced back. But me and Rem, that's forever." His voice cracked, his energy frantic. Fans weren't sympathetic. Comments roasted him in real time. "Bro, you lost them. BOTH. King of loyalty turned king of begging. This ain't love. This is desperation. Desperation." And then Claressa's ex made his final move. He posted a photo of himself and Claressa, arms around each other, captioned, "Told y'all I'd be back. Real, recognize real." Within minutes, Claressa reposted it on her story with a simple heart emoji. That was the knockout punch. Fans interpreted it as confirmation that she had officially moved Anand, not just from Papoose, but straight back to the man he once stole her from. The internet screamed, "Pap lost the belt." Memes showed Claressa's ex holding a championship belt while Papoose sat ringside looking stunned. By now, Papoose's brand was crumbling. Endorsements dried up. Love and hip-hop producers allegedly began cutting his screen time, and insiders whispered that his loyalty king reputation was beyond repair. Meanwhile, Remy was glowing in her independence. Claressa was undefeated in and out of the ring. And the ex had re-entered the spotlight like a long-awaited villain. The final straw came when Claressa gave an interview where she was asked directly about Papoose. Her response, "Ice cold, he was a chapter, not the book." That one sentence became a viral soundbite, plastered across TikTok edits, Instagram captions, and Twitter threads. The undefeated champ had closed the door, locked it, and thrown away the key. The cliffhanger now is brutal. Papoose has burned through his reputation, lost Claressa publicly, and failed to win Remy back. Claressa's ex is back in her corner. Remy is thriving in silence. And the man once crowned the king of loyalty has become the face of betrayal. The only question left is whether Papoose will keep fighting for redemption, or if this saga just delivered the knockout that ended his legacy for good. And there you have it, the fall of a man who once built his entire name on loyalty. Papoose went from the husband who stood by Remy Ma through prison walls to the partner Claressa Shields thought would be her forever, to the desperate man begging for a second chance on Instagram Lives. But the reality is clear: he's lost. Claressa Remy has no interest in looking back. And now Claressa's ex has stepped right back into the picture like he never left. What started as a messy breakup has spiraled into one of the most humiliating sagas hip-hop has ever seen. But here's what you need to understand. This story isn't over. Claressa has made it clear she's done. But insiders whisper that Papoose, is still making moves behind the scenes, still trying to claw back what he's lost. Remy has been silent, but silence in this industry always means plotting. And Claressa's ex. Sources say he's only just getting started with his receipts. The next leak, the next twist, could flip this entire saga on its head again. So don't just scroll away and hear about it secondhand on Twitter. Lock in right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on? Team Remy? Team Claressa? Or is anyone still riding for Papoose? Smash that like button so this story spreads everywhere. And most importantly, hit subscribe with notifications on. Because when the next chapter of this scandal explodes, trust me, you'll want to be front row, not catching up after the bomb goes off.